had to have some scholastics. Can you explain how they go hand in hand more so now? If you played basketball, you played football, you played more than one sport each season, which we all did here. Every season we was outside. Now it's more specialized. You all care to speak on it because you both have experienced it.
I think Ant went from Shabazz to Seton Hall. That was a tough school to get into.
So, let's. I'm gonna dial back a little bit.
Please.
When you're in school, when it comes to the scholastic side, the academic side, like anything you do, the environment must be suitable. If I walk in the classroom and it's loud, it's noisy, teacher can't teach, then that environment makes it hard for me as a student to really acclimate and develop academically. So let's start there. The teacher that's teaching you has to have a certain passion for teaching where it absorbs inside of you and make you want to learn. If not, that subject may come off as boring, uninteresting, and I may just be sitting in that classroom going, man, I'm bored, I don't want to do this. For me, it wasn't until a bug was put in my ear, yo, you don't get your academics together, you can't play basketball. I will tell you absolutely 1,000%, if it wasn't for basketball, I would have not taken academics seriously at all.
Is that in high school?
That is in high school.
And you aren't?
It's sort of similar because, you started thinking like maybe I can go to college and do this. And you had to have a certain grade point average to go to college. So I started to take it serious because you got to also remember my family's a poor family.
The rep.
Right, longshoremen.
Not really.
So my uncles, ran the union. So
Got it.
my uncle came to me and said, look, you about to graduate. I said, what you gonna do? He says, I got a job for you, 18 an hour. So this is 1980.
Good money.
It's 1980.
BMW money.
18? Definitely going to the BMW.
No question.
Right? So I said, hey man, listen.
Peugeot.
What? You get a Peugeot? You the man. Fuck around and get a Maserati now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We talking that talk.
Shut the city
We
down.
talking truth.
So I'm like, yo, man, I sound computer. They a couple colleges are interested in me playing, and he's like, see me in June.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but fortunately for me, just for me, he went away to prison. And I had to go to school.
Got it.
I had no fallback. Right? So that was my fallback. So Fairleigh Dickinson liked me for a minute, right?
Which one?
Alabama, the big one, where Kenny went. T-Neck, is that the one?
No.
The big one.
No,
Madison.
Madison.
Yeah.
But
No,
the basketball one is in
basketball
T-Neck.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big one.
I
So
thought he went to Madison.
I went to the Alabama School of Champions and lit them up.
Got it.
Yeah. Lit Span and all them up. You remember Span?
Greg or Mike?
Greg.
From Central. You
Yeah.
remember Greg's man?
Fred Murphy.
I know those names.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill them all. Right? So who the dude from Irvington? So
But he's always, wait. Excuse me,
you
y'all.
know Junior Foy went to C-No?
He's
Yeah, I know
always
you're talking about.
had
He
this
paid for my
attitude.
Got
He
it.
Mr.
always
Foy
had it.
saw me and Tammy Hammond working out. You guys know who Tammy Hammond is?
Tammy
Yes, I
Hammond.
do.
So
Know that name for
and-
sure.
But Mr. Foy lived next door to Tammy Hammond's mom. And, she was an 8th grader. Her sister went to school with me and was dating my best buddy back then. We would play all the time, and she was giving it to us in the 8th grade. Like, I'm saying that. Mr. Foy said, both of y'all good. So he took a little liking to us, and he paid for my Alabama camp down at the Petty School.
Nice.
And I went down there and went to work on them. And so LaBalbo was recruiting me to come there. I got hurt a little bit and started slowing down, I guess. So Bloomfield came after me real hard. Montclair State, a couple others, and I chose Bloomfield. But I would have probably been a longshoreman. Had Uncle Junie not gone away.
Well, that's a great interim to this here. And I would say this. You all's passion and drive to get out of here. What was your plan to get out of here? Good question. What was your plan? You didn't have a designated plan, but you knew you had to get out, to change the Ferris wheel, to change the winding chain for yourself and possibly your family.
Oh, I had a plan. I said, okay, I'm about 6'9", I could play this game. And the first thing I had to do was dream really big.
Speak on dreams.
You could want to do something, and you may not have the passion or the heart to speak it into existence. So some people may just say certain things to themselves and not others. I was one that would say it out loud. I'm going to the league.
Really?
Yeah. Because I had to believe it first. Now, when you speak it out loud and put it in other people's ears, you got people to hold you accountable. So now I'm driven to back up my words. Now, if I'd have just said it to myself, and then I decided, you know what, this game is getting hard. Can't nobody say, yo, I thought you was going to the league. I ain't never say that. So for me, I dreamed big, and I stated it, and I said it, and I was driven. And for me, I said, okay, Aunt, shoot for the stars. If it don't work out, you'll be somewhere in the sky. You'll be somewhere over there, but you got to aim high. No need of aiming low. So I aim high from the get-go.
Ruff?
It's competition. Once I got to college, I wanted to stay in college, and then I wanted to have good grades. So
Where did the switch come from the basketball to being your own boss for you?
well, it was when I got out of college and I started working for NCR, a computer company. I sold Sealand, a shipping company down in Newark, Port Newark. I sold them like 20 million in computers and software in 14 countries. And they gave me the scraps. So Sealand bought only IBM.
Mm-hmm.
And so they gave the brother that account. And so I started cultivating relationships within the account. And they were testing computers, and they wanted to do what was called client-server architecture back then. And I said, well, here, let me let you guys borrow this computer for 30, 45 days, test it against your IBMs. See, it outperformed it. So they said, well, let's put a whole client-server thing in one, and they did it, and they outperformed it. And then I learned, so it was a guy named Eddie Tuosto, who was an Italian guy who was from Newark, but then moved to Belleville, and he loved eating in Newark at all the restaurants, right, and drinking wine. And so I would take him to eat and drink, and he would give me more business. So I learned the power of relationships. I learned the power of solution-based selling. And I had the confidence that I could do this because they gave me nothing. So I took 0 to 20 million, right? And so the catch came when they started putting people on my account. We had a cap at that time. We could only make 150 was the cap, right? And this is the late 80s, early 90s, and to give you some, timeline. And so I would max out. They would put Ann on my account, which I had no problem because I'm a team player. I got no problem with that. It was just that, just don't give Ann none of my money. You could create a whole nother revenue stream for Ann.
Correct.
Right. But
don't give them my
so what they
bread.
would say is, well, Ernie, you selling so many computers, so many towers, we're going to give Ant the PCs. And I said, no problem. I just want my commission on all of it
Got it.
because I built it.
There
Right.
you go.
And so the dude came in. We had to go to Hong Kong, and the vice president came and said, Ernie, you sit this one out. I'm gonna go to Hong Kong. And so I called to Wosto. I remember I cultivated these relationships, right? I said, Eddie, they don't want me to go. He said, no, you gotta go, or we got no deal. So what I learned was I was good,
Got it.
Okay.
right?
You had people skills.
I had the skills. I knew solution-based selling. I knew how to solve problems with, you can't go in just prescribing medicine. I got to know what hurts, right? And so when I got good, and then they started giving Ant my money, I bounced,
There you go.
and I went on my own, So that's what.
Well, that's the success story of understanding the importance of relationships, and there are going to be speed bumps along this journey of life. Now, coming all the way up to where we are now, and that is this here. Why do you think the way that you was risen, or should I say raised, would not be applicable now to the kids of today? I want both of you all to take your time with that there. We were raised tough, we were raised strong, we was raised proud. We even had some deficiencies from a fundamental perspective, from an educational perspective, from the concrete jungle, social dynamics and all that there, and everything that is implemented in coming from urban America, and the epidermis of your skin, not so much your ideology or the cultivation of your mind. Explain how to the young people of today how what you all used then, give it a facelift where they'll understand it for today's world, what you all have done to be where you are.
Well, when I look forward and I look backwards. Looking in this present moment, I realize we are a nation of laws. Everything is driven by laws. So just look at the laws of, let's say, in the early 70s. Fast forward to the laws today on what you can and can't do. And I'm just talking about raising your kids. The way my parent parented with tough love, I couldn't get away with nothing.
I agree. I second that.
But in today's society, the way laws are and the way people are trained to question and recognize certain things, you will be questioned at school by certain people who are trained to ask certain questions. And you have a caseworker at your house. So laws, let's start there. Today's world of media and access to information. So once again, I grew up in an era where you didn't question anything. Mom say this, that's that. Well, I can't tell my son anything because he's an information kid. He got access to read up on things, and he's going to question it versus my era. So you have to have the intellect to be able to deal with a kid who's, I want to say more intellectual, but understands critical thinking better. Have the tools to question any and everything, and if you don't have the right answers, they're gonna fall back.
If not listen to you at all or question you from that point forward.
Correct.
These kids are advanced.
They're
Very.
advanced, and technology has allowed that.
And your 2 cents on that there?
He's right. Your mother could slap you in the head at this Walmart or at the 5 and 10 store down at Irvington Center.
Don't let nobody see it.
Well, not only your mother, Miss Jones could. You always had a nosy woman,
Yeah. The
surrogate
neighbor
mother or
could snatch you
something.
up.
Yeah.
So the laws changed that, and some kids need that.
No question.
Some kids need that. You need to,
Need that tough
need
love.
that tough love. I mean, I have 3 children, and I don't think I spanked them.
But to what he's saying,
You put the
had-
fear of God in them, though.